Good evening, everybody. We got here a 1v1 Arabia between two top-level players, and let's get right into it. So we do have in the blue playing as the Mongols, Hera, a very well-known name, and then his enemy is going to be Liereyy, playing in the yellow as the Persians. So two fantastic players that are playing with two fantastic civilizations as well. Let's get right into it because this is going to be a good one. Already off the bat, we do know a Hera versus Liereyy game can be very entertaining. Both of these are some of the most highly skilled players and have been for quite a while. Both players significant winners in 1v1s as well as team games. And these civilizations are fantastic. Top tier civilizations with the Mongols and the Persians. So we would expect to see, some scouts early in the feudal age, and as we continue on, maybe even get up to Mangadai with the Mongols, and then just a ton of knights coming out for the Persians. That's usually the expectation. So as we take a quick look, I'm going to speed up a little bit as we go through the Dark Age. Just zooming out a bit here. When we take a look at Lierey's base, very easy wall-offs. He does have back gold, back stone. His berries are forward, but it is still protected enough that it shouldn't be too much of a problem. A little bit more of an open map for Hera, so he might end up just walling into his town center instead, but he could get a nice little wall off in the back, get this safe gold. He also has this back main gold, and these berries will be protected because it looks like he's going to wall a little bit around here. Both of the players deciding to push in their zebras before they go out and scout around too much. Neither of the players really knowing all that much of what's going on, but Hera's going to beeline it directly for the enemy, and take a look at this. Sees that fallen elephant, turns immediately. That is a good play on his part. If he misses that, of course, that's a down scout. He did see the straggler trees, so that's just the importance of these fast players who can spot these things right off the bat. That's the thing about both Liereyy and Hera. They are very quick players. So both of the players now on their way up as this scout fight is occurring. And it is Hera that does lose the scout. He will be first up to the next age as they are both dropping a barracks, and will likely see some scouts coming out from both of the players. A little bit late on the stable. Of course, Hera always wanting to have that stable on the way when the next age hits, but instead dropping a house. So he did not have the wood for the immediate stable, so that is going to hurt him a little bit. That kind of negates the fact that he went up early. Both of the players now with stables, but Hera's just a bit delayed, so a bit of an imperfect build to start off, and at this level that does actually make a big difference. Those few seconds at lower levels not making a huge impact, but right now we already have a spearman, we already have a scout making their way down across the map. But the wall-offs should be completed. A little bit open here. Not sure. Hera, he does know that it's open there. He doesn't know how quick of a wall it would be. I mean, just a few houses here, and he is fully protected on that right side. He is walling off on this side, and that spearman is there to protect, so he should be okay on the left side as he has a scout coming back, but there are two looping around for Liereyy. So Liereyy does have his initial scout still sitting with 7 HP, and a bonus scout sitting here as well. The wood line does get hit. Villagers having to be pulled. That's 5 villagers not working right now. 5 villagers having to attack and waste time as these two scouts going the long way around. The main scout for Liereyy does go down now. Both of these players looking to give and take what they can. Little bit of a bonus to Hera. He does have 1 extra spearman, which will be able to help out, especially in this engagement if he can get in close. And of course the HPs for these two scouts for Liereyy is a little bit lower than the HP for the scouts for Hera. Back at home, the Spearmen are still fighting, dueling it back and forth as these guys are just being chased around a little bit. Liereyy is walling off, so he will have a nice little pocket in the back here. He's actually gone for a little bit of a bigger wall than I first thought. I mean, he could wall through these pawns and get a ton of space back here. I don't know if that's necessary at this point in time, but he is in a fairly good position as Hera will be fully walled, and the engagement starts with the cavalry. So good interactions, good engagements from both of them right now as they go back and forth. Upgrades not quite in for either of them, but that should be all right because it's not in for either of them. There is no negation. Now Hera getting a little bit of a bonus from that hill. The scout does get a couple more hits on Liereyy, and now there's a very formidable 7 HP Spearman that could get 1 or 2 hits off on these scouts and really change the tide. So 101 HP versus 103 now, and yeah, that's 65 versus 103 when we look at the HP of those scouts. 1 extra scout for Hera that would be attacking, so that would be enough to turn the tides. And yes, the engagement does happen. A few more free hits as we see 103 health versus 45, but this Spearman can turn it around. So 1 healthy Spearman can take out quite a few of these scouts. Take a look at this, just like that, it has flip-flopped, and we see the scouts trying to gain any sort of a foothold that they can, as both of the players are going to start looking to get up to the next age. Obviously, a lot of farms for both players. 17 for Liereyy, 19 on food for Hera, and now 20. So he is going to push, but Liereyy at a better position right now. He does have the gold a bit sooner than Hera will. And Hera's now fully walled off and dropping his archery range inside his base. He wants to make sure he can mass up those archers before he gets attacked by any scouts that might be wandering around. Of course, Hera, he does see archery range number 1 and number 2 now for Liereyy. So with these 2 archery ranges, he's gonna know that it's double production for the enemy, as both have clicked up to the next age. Liereyy just that much faster. He did have that gold just so much quicker. And both these players will be going for archers, will be trying to mass up what they can. Archery range number 2 going up for Hera. So once again, Hera just that little bit behind and just not quite able to get where he wants to be when he wants to be. He just lost that scout up at the front. If we take a look at the upgrades, fairly even. We do have just the wood upgrade, but no blacksmith upgrades for either of these players yet. We do see right now fletching is coming in for Liereyy as he's moving forward, and the blacksmith once again just a little bit late for Hera. Fletching will be coming in once the next age is hit, so it should be all right. And we do have enough archers to put a little bit of a defense out, and this Spearman will see what is coming at him, and he knows that he should probably be a little bit cautious because the enemy is at the gates. And here we go, Liereyy up to the next age, so he's gonna try and buy some time as he gets his upgrades. A forward siege workshop. Lierey's gonna try and push this right now, and of course one thing that Liereyy is so well known for is his insane micro with archers. He is such a good archer player and can just pick apart enemies. Of course, Hera is nothing to laugh at. He is also very formidable, and with crossbows, both of these players are very capable of beating almost anyone in the world, if not anyone in the world. But Liereyy, you never want to let him get ahead, as he is just so quick with his attacks. Hera having to retreat a little bit. He does see this siege workshop. The mangonel will not come out in time, and Hera is going to be able to defend at home for now, but the mangonel will be very difficult for him to engage against. He does have the same range right now as a mangonel will. And he does have the +1 defense that Liereyy doesn't have in as of yet, but he has clicked it right now. So villager goes down, another villager will fall for Hera. 2 villagers down, but overall behind by 3 is Hera compared to Liereyy. Hera deciding to go forward, try and see what sort of damage he can get. Liereyy, of course, not fully walled yet, so still going to have to be very cautious. He's calling his villagers into the town center, and the crossbows from Hera will be pushed back by this group of crossbows from Liereyy. Hera always wanting to jump back there, and that mangonel will come out, so that'll be 3 mangonels for Liereyy. So we're going to need to see some real good micro right now from these crossbows at the front, because there's crossbowmen and 2 mangonels already in the town. So what sort of engagements can we get? We need a 2-for-1 deal at least from Hera. Of course, it is Hera. He is capable of doing that sort of damage, but it's going to be tough to engage against 2 different mangonels. Trying to micro the crossbows right now, trying to get those mangonels close. If he can pop out and get a good shot, he does get 1 down. That is 1, not quite 2 as of yet, so it is 1 and a bit of damage for Hera. That's enough to scare Liereyy, but not enough to turn the tide as of yet. Hera is dropping his second town center now, so he is going to try to boom up, build up a little bit of a villager advantage, but he is behind. 7 villagers behind, as a matter of fact, as the next mangonel is on its way, and these crossbow take a big shot. The mangonel able to take out another villager. We are seeing a 9 villager difference. Nice split there from Hera. Picks off the villager that is doing the repairs, but mind you, every time these crossbowmen are moving back and forth and avoiding the mangonel shots, they're getting hit by these crossbowmen from Liereyy. So Hera very far behind right now. He needs something big to pick him up and back into this, but I don't know if he has it in him. This second town center would be enough, but he is already so far behind on both military and villager counts. Liereyy just pouring across the map. Thumb ring now coming in for Liereyy. And as you can see, 4 mangonels. I don't know how you deal with this if you are Hera. The entire front of his base is taken out. All of these farms completely useless, as 4 mangonels are coming right into his town. They are being repaired by these villagers. That villager will cause some damage. But with the range right now, these crossbows can't get close enough. So mangonel for Hera, gonna try and pick off the crossbowmen as much as possible. Ooh, Liereyy, fantastic moves right there. This town center will go down. That is the main town center of Hera. These villagers are having to flee from gold. Thank goodness this other gold is in the back, as we see a 3rd town center going up for Hera. But is it enough? He is down to 11 military compared to the 28 of Liereyy. So a good shot there from the mangonel. He does pick off some crossbowmen. He does get a good engagement, but he's going to need to do better than that, as he loses another mangonel, and it is 4 mangonels to 0. And I think this is it. Liereyy has done enough to cause Hera to turn and run, move all of his villagers forward. Hey, if nothing else, let's send in the farm. These are Spanish villagers, but of course, not quite as good as they would be. Sorry, they were Mongol villagers, but that was a great game. Liereyy, of course, just so good with his micro, and that push was really, really strong. The move forward with those mangonels right off the bat, fantastic move.